Hi YouTube, this is Angie the Anti-Theist. The user Religious Fiction, another atheist YouTuber, has asked me to respond to the question, what's the point of living without God? There are three problems that I have with the question itself. One is that the question presupposes that there is a God, that some of you out there have an advantage that I don't. The second is that it assumes that you know that having a God or a God existing would in some way be beneficial, that there's somehow a drawback or a negative to atheism or life without God. And the third is, and my third problem with it is that it's so bleak. I don't think that believers actually have a God. I don't think that, Christians or Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists or Wiccans or anybody else actually has power or access to supernatural, entities or abilities that I don't have. I don't actually think that there is any, you know, tangible or supernatural benefit to believing in a God. I mean, there might be benefits socially to belonging to a religious organization or, just not being the most distrusted minority in America. But I don't think that there's any, inherent advantages to belief in a God. In fact, I would say that there are several disadvantages. But just focusing on what's the point? What's the point of living? Since I think that, none of us have access to a God, I don't think that, God is actually any of our reason to be here or our, the point of life. Personally, I think life is incredibly worth living for. I can have fun, I can run around, I can go play in the rain, I can take a walk with my kid, I can go explore nature, I can go learn new things, I can spend days on Google just clicking around and finding out all kinds of cool stuff I had no idea of before. I can learn about the things that I care about and that I'm passionate about, like children's rights, like overturning religious exemptions that allow parents to medically neglect their kids legally in this country. Those things give my life meaning. They're a reason to keep, waking up every morning. My friends, I mean, friends are fantastic. Friends definitely help you through the bad times and help you enjoy the good times. I love my online and offline friends. I have a 4-year-old. I think any parent can tell you, like, is there any point to your life? Why, yes, there is. Anybody with a kid can say that. Anybody with a loved one can say that. Anybody who's not feeling suicidally depressed at that moment can tell you that there's something to live for. And I would imagine that for the vast majority of believers, if you started by asking them the question, what is your reason to live? Or, what's the point of living? For the average cultural or moderate religious person, I don't think God would be the first thing that they would answer with. I think that, I think believers know that there's, more to life than just faith. I have morality, I have ethics, I have friends, I don't have my own family in the sense of, the people who I was, born into. I don't have a relationship with most of them, but I have my kid and I have, my found family of friends and loved ones who, I hang out with on holidays or whatnot. The idea that I would need a God to enjoy life or to have meaning in my life or to think that my life had value, I really hate the religious idea that, this life is meaningless, that this life is nothing more than a preamble or a waiting room to eternity. I hate the idea that, I just think that it's depressing as hell to see people waste or diminish or, brush aside the only life that we're guaranteed to have, which is this one here on earth. We don't know for certain anything about, I don't think there's an afterlife. There's no evidence for one. Doesn't mean there isn't, but it doesn't mean there is. I mean, that's the thing. There's no evidence saying that there is any kind of afterlife or that some part of us continues on after death. There's no physical evidence supporting that at all. For me, that doesn't make this life, less meaningful or less worth living. It makes it more meaningful. This might be the only shot I've ever got at having happiness or fun or experience or knowledge or, love. I can't believe I'm having to sell people on life. The idea that God is anybody's reason for living. Like maybe Rick Warren. The rest of us, our lives have as much meaning as we give them. Our lives have whatever purpose we put behind them. We don't need a celestial dictator to tell us who we are or what we do. We can figure this shit out for ourselves. We can take care of ourselves and each other. We can make the world a better place, and we can have fun. I mean, I might talk about activism a lot, but it's not all of who I am, just like your belief in God isn't all of who you are. I love nature. I love, hanging out with friends. I used to go hitchhiking before I had a kid as a really fun vacation hobby. The idea that, God or belief in God gives your life purpose pisses all over the wonderfulness that life already has. I hope everybody out there has a great and godless day, and I hope everybody feels like they have purpose in their life, and if you don't, go out and find some. Have a great and godless day. Peace.